was happy to see Boba Fett be cool for the first time on screen in live action, at least. Be cool for real.
I will say I call him Boba Fett now.
He's old, dude.
I know it's not his fault, but yeah, he's fat. They should have made the armor look big.
No, I'm ready. I'm ready for the weekend. Actually, tomorrow, most of my stuff should be here, and yeah, I can't wait for it to get here. Okay.
New equipment?
Like the rest of my stuff. Like I've got all sorts of fun things. You'll see once it's all actually set up. Because right now it's just fucking pieces of stuff. Like pieces. Like I haven't even gotten software and all of that. I waiting on a new mic and other things and yeah.
Let me guess. You're gonna start animating all of our podcasts by hand.
Fuck no.
Like those Ricky Gervais HBO episodes, which are so stupid.
What?
Like HBO had a series for a while, which was just portions of Ricky Gervais shows. Like he does a podcast. He's done it for years with his co-creator of The Office and their friend that they like to make fun of for being stupid, and his head is shaped like an orange. And then HBO just animated some of the episodes and released it as a TV show.
Okay.
And it's just an animation of them sitting doing a podcast and then cutting away to different things. Whereas Kevin Smith had a guy animate just clips from his podcast, and that guy would never animate them talking. He would animate what they were talking about.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. That's funnier.
Yeah, exactly. And some of those were really funny. Like they made up a character that kept going back when I listened to Smodcast. Because someone made a video about like the angriest Canadian or something. Like the most polite but still angriest Canadian.
Oh, geez. Yeah. Yeah. What a god awful stereotype to have. What a god awful stereotype to have. You are too damn nice. How dare you said excuse me. No,
I like that stereotype. I shoot for it in real life.
You know what's funny? You know what's funny? A lot of Americans have this incredibly romantic idea about Europe, right?
Oh.
And they have this romantic idea of Europeans, and they get over there and they find out that their ideas aren't necessarily real. You know, there's some differences between what's in your head and real life. That being said, do you want to know what like the number one surprising things Europeans have to say about Americans?
Sure.
It's how nice we are.
Really?
Absolutely. They say they've never, like, it's a stereotype about Canada. You know, oops, sorry, punched you in the face there. You know, but America is when you think about it, yeah, your daily interactions, how many people just hold a door open, ask which floor of the elevator you want to go.
Someone cross the street when you're in the car.
Stuff
I'm
like
that dude.
Yeah, stuff like that is everyday common things in America, which is why we don't notice that we are so nice. But in Europe, it's not like that.
That's so weird. I mean, I don't expect them to be overly nice. Like, I thought you were going to say that's what Americans thought of them. And I'm like, no, that's what Americans think of Canadians. I do not expect the French to be super nice to me.
No.
Or the Italians or even the British.
But all of, like, you go online and watch any like, surprising things about Americans for British people, or 5 things Japanese people find surprising about America. Almost every foreign national that does one of those types of videos they end up talking about how nice everyone was here, and the good time that they had with the people and stuff like that. So yay, America. Anyway,
yeah, we're America, here to save the motherfucking day, yeah.
And with that, good morning, everybody. Welcome to LRMornings today with Kyle and
Nick.
I don't know if Nick's aware, but he might be on video.
Ooh.
Yeah. So just a heads up. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I should put something over your face. I'm messing with you. Yeah, anyways, it is Wednesday, which means it's a wild hard Wednesday on LRMornings.
Yeah.
We can talk about whatever the hell we want, which is why we spent the first 8 minutes talking about that.
Last week was so fun. Have me on every Wednesday episode. I don't have class on Tuesdays.
You know, I have to complain about Star Wars badly, like real bad. Like
it's either Star Wars or Sony, one of the two big S's.
I don't know if you heard last week about Barry Yaga Berry, we're not there yet. Nope. Last week the Wookiee that they gave a
I wasn't even talking about that. I'm like, that's the picture. I'm being like a director. I know what we're getting to, though. I didn't even think of that.
But the Wookiee with the last name, that was basically his first name switched around.
Oh, I heard about that when someone tweeted something like, since when do Wookiees have surnames? Or like,
not
when
just
did they
that,
lose them or something?
But the fact that it was Barry Yaga Berry. Like, what the And then
look, to be fair, I knew a girl in high school whose name was Yang Yang, which are two different characters in China, but translated it's Yang Yang.
That's fine. That's
just so don't just question Star Wars language.
Barry Yaga Bear. No. And then this week another and that's a High Republic character. This week another High Republic character showing off the brilliance of the writing room, you know, minds like Zahn and Stackpole and Tears or Tires, Kathy, great writer Christy Goldie, like all those names pale in comparison to the person that came up with Geode. Yeah. A rock.
I should have just called him Geodude, just like the Pokemon, because he's a dude who's a Geode.
It's a fucking sentient rock. Look, it's...
Well, no, and here's the worst part about what you said so far, too.
What's that?
We say Geode like it's a cool-looking rock. It's just a stone.
It's just a stone. It's like a headstone. It's like
the obelisk in...
No, it's not
2001,
even
2001, but it's just... Like maybe I picture like a door. I've seen the picture. It's like a door-shaped
it's a
piece of fucking stone.
It looks like a tombstone that hasn't been smoothed out.
Yeah, that's the other thing. It's not smooth like the obelisk. It's just like it is a rock.
Yeah. It's God. Is it? It's bad, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm bringing up the writer appeared in Star Wars: The High Republic, something Into the Dark, written by
young adult ones
by Claudia Gray. Young adult, okay.
I'm just curious. I'm trying to break it down for my friend because I bought my friend Charles Soule's book because he hasn't read Star Wars books since we were a kid, but Charles Soule is his favorite author.
Okay.
He loves him from the comics, and he bought his first book there at Denver Comic-Con from Charles Soule.
Okay, cool.
He was even going to bring it on his trip to reread it, so I gave him his birthday present right before his trip.
Mm-hmm.
He brought that book instead. He read it because, he's like Charles Soule, Star Wars. Because I'm trying to keep track of which are the adult novels. I don't think he has interest in. I don't think there's a second adult novels out yet. It's mostly comics, young adult, and picture books. So this must be. I think this is one of the young adult books I saw at the store.
This is. But again, I say like Miss Gray. Do you think children are stupid? Because
pet rocks.
when I was the age that you're supposed to be reading young adult, high school, 13, 14, 15, 16 years old is what YAs are like aimed for. I was reading Timothy Zahn's Heir to the Empire trilogy. I was reading Mike Stackpole's X-Wing novels. I
wouldn't even call those young adult books. I would
call
those
that's
just
what
novels.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like we had
those books are thick.
Yes, they are. They didn't even really have a young adult series. They had a young Jedi Knight series, which was like in between children's books that we know today. I'm not talking like preschooler. I'm talking children, like Goosebumps, 60, 80 pages. Like in between that and what you call YA today. Like it was
which can be long, like Harry Potter, but
they can be. Yeah, and not complicated and exactly. And it was
so much sci-fi and tectical stuff.
Right. It was the young Jedi Knight series. A lot of it took place at the Academy. Jason, Jaina, Lobaka, a Wookiee Jedi.
So there had been Wookiee Jedis before in extended universe.
Jedi, no last names.
No, I'm not talking about that part.
Yeah, but
I
Jedi.
was surprised to even see Wookiee as a Jedi on like the cover of one of the ads or the book. I think it is.
Just wait until we get one of these damn rocks as a fucking Jedi. And this rock is not just a rock. He's a really cool dude apparently. And he the rock
like Grogu, where he only thinks.
You can't pronounce his name if you have a mouth. Like, it's so brilliant. I came up with this idea. Literally, she talks about how wanting to come up with a character to join the pilot of the vessel. No, that's the name of the ship. The ship's called the Vessel or Vessel. So she wanted to come up with a co-pilot inspired by Chewbacca, basically someone that doesn't.
We've gone from
have a lot
Chewbacca
to say.
And droids, whether it be R2 or K2SO or even I like the Solo robot. She was funny.
Mm-hmm.
But so we've gone.
Now we got rocks.
Now we have rocks.
Now we got rocks.
How does a rock punch?
Rocks are flying ships. So she's talking.
Geode.
She talks to her boy. She talks to her boyfriend about wanting a Chewbacca like co-pilot of few words, and it's like, okay. First off, why copy that again? And second, a rock. Like her boyfriend recommended a rock, and she thought it was a good idea. And I
thought the Rock was her boyfriend. That's less interesting. I wish the Rock was her boyfriend.
That
would be cool.
I try not to be a complete asshole, and I keep looking over here at this. This is canon, Nick. Since Disney has taken over Star Wars, we've gotten a version of time travel. We've gotten an entire movie retconned. But by the next film, we got a rock as a co-pilot and three different space horses.
Okay.
That have been ridden into battle.
You're going to hate this idea, but I have an answer. And I'm going to tell you how it's going to evolve with the film industry. Marvel's going to do their multiverse. It's going to be a huge fucking success. People are going to see multiverses everywhere.
No.
DC's doing it. So Star Wars is finally like, let's just fucking do it. Break the timeline. People could be like, oh, Last Jedi isn't canon. I mean, it's all canon and it's all not canon. You know what I mean? Because here's how I grew. I know you loved Extended Universe. My friend Andrew loved Extended Universe. to this day, well, not even to this day, because now the movies don't make sense together. Back when it was just 3 movies and then just 3 movies. We saw 1997 is why I saw it. It's when my friends saw it and stuff. Big screen, new special effects, a few mistakes added in. But we got the toys. I started reading. I read the extended universe books too. But me and my friend Andrew have been arguing this until Disney canceled all of it. It's about almost a 25-year-old argument about, I don't consider anything except for the live action films canon. I don't like not the video games, not the books. They contradict each other. But now I can't even say that because the prequels contradict the original films and the sequels contradict themselves.
Yeah,
it's like not even the movies are all canon to me anymore.
And
like,
so
the
anime
stuff
complete
is
garbage
not
and contradicts everything.
Yeah. So if I had to break it down though, and if it made sense, I'd say I would stick to my old statement of only live actions canon because I don't want to watch the animation. I don't want to read that many Star Wars comics. I don't want to read novels because I don't read novels at all.
This is the problem. That's
what Andrew would say
for me. I've had a great experience reading and living in Star Wars universe through print, whether comics or novels, right? I'm used to that world. Like, I miss reading good Star Wars books, and instead I'm getting Jedi named Harry Yaga Harry. I'm getting rock co-pilots of starships called the Vessel. I'm getting freaking Han Solo married sometime after Solo, a Star Wars story, but before.
Really?
A New Hope. Yes, that's canon in the comics.
See, again, it's the books contradicting the movies. There's not enough time for that. Even if it was like a one.
This is
and I believe a one night stand.
This
Solo
is one of those
drunk. They go to the planet Las Vegas. He has a wife, and they get an annulment before it's like a hangover type situation.
This is one of those things, though, on why Disney said it was all lies. First off, liars. Okay, hey, they got rid of the EU. They said you killed Chewbacca, and the story's convoluted. So we're gonna erase it and make all things right, and we won't have a screwed up story and convolutions or contradictions anymore. Not even 1 year into printing the Marvel comics did they already have contradictions. Not to mention, like you said, what the sequel shit has done. And the novels, not only are they mostly bad, like fucking Alphabet Squadron. You go from fucking Rogue Squadron, Wraith Squadron, fuck it, Red Squad, Alphabet Squad. Where's my fucking alphabet soup? If I fucking eat alphabet soup when I'm a child. Oh my god!
I didn't know that. I know there's a comic called like something Alpha.
No. Alphabet Squadron is a series of
There's a character called Alpha. I think.
Afra, Dr. Afra.
Oh, that's the one I'm thinking of.
No, Alphabet Squadron book series. See, that's the thing. I don't know who it is.
Why didn't they just do Black Squadron?
I don't know. Like
the sequel trilogy.
Nick.
That was a cool name, Black Squadron. I was like, fuck yeah.
I don't know. No. What I don't get is ever since Disney took over, not only have they ignored the EU, only picking a few things, like a lot of Jason went into Ben and stuff like that. But and then of course episode 9 has a lot of dark the Dark Empire arc in it with the cloned resurrected emperor and stuff. But
so dumb. Dark Empire is much better, or whatever you.
Dark Empire was done.
That's a great
better.
comic. I've read the comic series.
Yes, and
yeah.
like they pick and choose some stuff from it, but then they ignore almost every cool thing there is, and not just books, but even the movies. Other than Tatooine, did we go anywhere in the sequel trilogy from the original trilogy?
We saw Coruscant, I assume.
Did we?
I don't think our characters were ever there, but didn't we at least see?
I don't think we even saw Coruscant, the planet.
But I don't think that's necessary.
But
the prequels mostly did separate movies too, and that wasn't their fault. Like, I mean, that's not why they were bad.
No.
We're seeing all the same archetypes.
Not
too many fucking
all.
Desert planets between the Mandalorian and the sequel trilogy.
I'll give you that very much.
Just do Tatooine. Fuck Jakku. Just do Tatooine.
Yeah.
You don't need a new. And then don't they have another new one in Rise of Skywalker?
Yes, that's yet a different desert.
And then I think the Mandalorian has at least one other sand planet. That's not any of the ones from the sequel trilogy either.
I think both desert.
I guess it looks like a sand planet at first, but I'm thinking of the molten planet in the early episodes and the late episodes. It looks like when he's there, it looks like it could be Mos Eisley. But when you step out of town, it's more of a volcanic.
Yeah. But
planet.
Not only that, but the sequel trilogy in which they tried and some people try to do mental gymnastics by saying, oh, you would only have all this ancient rebel tech left over or ancient imperial tech left over for the resistance. They still made brand new not even that, dude. They wouldn't even reuse aliens from the OT, other than like I think one or two Rhodians and of course some Mon Cal, including Akbar.
And those are the two I was thinking of.
I think maybe a Quarren popped up in episode 9, but at least Lucas gave us some familiar aliens.
I don't know. The prequels felt. It's like, how are all their, like, when I watched the prequels even as a kid, I was like, where did all these alien species go in 30 years? Mandalorian has done a great job of it.
In the,
I mean, obviously, episode 1, you still have, that's prequel trilogy. Do you have Jawas in the prequel? Yeah. You see, on Tatooine, you see Jawas. Tusken Raiders are shooting at the pod racers. Huts, obviously. Twi'lek in the prequel trilogy. What else is there really in the prequels? I mean, Wookiees,
Rhodians,
obviously,
and Wookiee and E.T.
Yeah, but that's not from the original.
I know, but that's what I'm getting at, and I know that Star Wars is a lot about selling toys. I'm not denying that. I'm not against that. I don't hate on that. I don't begrudge them for wanting to sell toys. My only real issue is that there was no effort to make it feel, because what you're supposed to look at the Star Wars universe in a galaxy, it's not BattleTech where it takes a long time to travel from point A to point B, right? They can travel vast distances in relative short.
It's even quicker than like Star Trek, which is pretty quick.
Yeah, it takes days to do a long trip across the galaxy in a fast ship. You know,
fast ship. Have you ever heard of the Millennium Falcon?
and so you expect a lot of species to be widespread throughout the galaxy, kind of like you see, a wide mix of humans in a country like the United States, and they didn't give us that crap just so they could do that. To me has been some of the most disappointing stuff about Disney's Star Wars, is just the lack of world building and cohesiveness, and the fact that every project they do feels so disconnected.
Dude, I have advice for you. I'm a Star Trek fan. Star Trek is good.
I hate Shatner.
No, you don't have to watch the Shatner
I know.
ones.
I
love Shatner. He's part
Kelvin
of the joy
line.
of the original ones. He's just so bad. Like his Twilight Zone episode, amazing.
No.
But no. You could just count the movies, just watch Discovery. But the thing is, like, a show will add someone like the Andorians. I'm not a good Star Trek fan yet either. I'm learning it. And they're like the blue people with the antenna. And then suddenly they're not even like the big three besides humans. You got Vulcans, Romulans, and Klingons. And then later the Borg are super big. But even all the other species, some character the Krill is a character that was introduced to me in Discovery, but I recognize from other series I haven't seen. It's like they're always there's one main species the new series adds, and that's that fish-like creature played by Doug Jones. Really tall and skinny, like every character Doug Jones plays. Kind of like a Mal calamari, one of the whatever that species is. But yeah, Star Trek, and then like you'll always see that particular alien appear somewhere else again in the future.
Yeah.
As long as it's time appropriate. You can't have Borg in the past.
Well, the way I understand it is,
well, technically, First Contact is Borg going back to the 90s.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, I think it was some people were saying season 2 of Discovery had to do some gymnastics to explain some continuity issues from season 1 or something like that. They like kind of retconned themselves, is the way it was explained to me.
No, not as much retconning. It's just kind of changing the style of the show.
I get.
Like the first season was like too connected with the big war with the Klingons, whereas like people love classic Trek for being episodic.
Mm-hmm.
So the second and the third season still have an overarching story, but it not only is it more episodic, they bring in Pike, the original captain, and Spock
right.
into season 2, and they're not in season 3. But they're assigned to Discovery in season 2 because the Enterprise was badly damaged during the previous season, which was the war against the Klingons.
Yeah.
So, and then you'll have like an episode where there's one episode they go to a planet and they find a civilization that left Earth during World War I and has evolved on its own planet. They're like, how, like, it's not just the old Trek where it's like, here's our Nazi planet with humans on it. This is like, how did humans come to this planet back in the 20s?
Yeah.
Like, this makes no sense.
What?
And
like
that's the mystery of the week. Yeah.
Alien,
but all of it ties
them
together by the end.
But wouldn't that fuck with the time? Anyway,
No. So that's because there is time travel all over Star Trek.
Spoil it for everyone. Yeah.
Unlike Star Wars, time travel has been in like Star Trek since the original series.
Yeah.
It's always there.
And I was just thinking like First Contact, and like if like you go back that far, like wait, but yeah. Anyways,
the Kelvin timeline exists because of
time travel. Yeah. I like the Kelvin timeline. All 3 of them are good movies. I mean, the first one's the best by far out of the 3, but
you said the
none
first
of them
one?
are terrible.
The first and the third I love for different reasons, but I have trouble picking one over the other. The first and the third. I picked the third over the first. First is more classic. The third pairs up my 2 favorite characters, like Carl Urban as Bones paired up with Zachary Quinto as Spock. Is like Falcon and the Winter Soldier. They're like just 2 people who are on the same team but don't get each other.
Yeah.
They're both work for Jim, just like the other 2 both worked for Steve Rogers, but they don't get along.
Yeah. It's funny that the best Star Wars movie that Abrams made was Star Trek.
I love that joke, and it's 100% true.
I made.
It's like saying the best Star Trek movie is Galaxy Quest, which is also true. And some people who have written Star Trek movies have agreed with that statement.
The Orville does Star Trek better than Star Trek.
I've heard that also. I love the Galaxy Quest point though, and a lot of Trekkies believe that. They're like, yeah, it's different canon, but it's a Star Trek movie.
I completely walked out of because I saw Abrams' Trek in Germany, and
2008.
Yeah,
no, 2009. 2009.
9. Yep.
The year after Iron Man.
I went there on the military installation and walked out, and I was mad because I liked it.
That was like, the first Trek I liked too.
Hey, no, because I liked for First Contact, and there's a handful of Next Generation episodes that were okay.
So you hated yourself for liking it because it was so flashy? Because the
good.
old school Trek fans are like, I don't like the flashy shit.
No,
like
I was
Discovery
just
and
like
Kelvin and Picard.
No, I just thought it was a good, fun movie. It was everything the original Star Trek was not, and it took the best of Next Gen and Deep Space Nine, like character and situation, like those types of things, and it put them into a movie made by a guy that admittedly wasn't the world's biggest Trek fan, but was a big Star Wars fan. Not knowing a few years later he would get to do Star Wars.
Yeah, his Trek movies are, even his second, I will say Into Darkness is a better Star Wars movie than Rise of Skywalker or even Episode 7. Because I don't just like Into Darkness a lot more than most people, mostly because of Benedict Cumberbatch as Khan. And also I love the cast of those movies. Like they're all I love Chris Pine. I wish he was in more stuff that was successful. The best part of Wonder Woman every time. Except
he had that iffy moment where he did that rom-com love triangle spot
with Tom Hardy,
where
that's one of the worst movies ever.
Exactly, where you're like, I don't know if he's gonna come back.
No, me and Andrew went to that because that's why I worked at the movie theater, so we went to movies free all the time. Yeah, and I was like, oh, it's got Chris Pine and Tom Hardy in it, and it's like an action movie. We watch it, it's like, this is a romantic comedy. Where Cher best friend is played by Chelsea Handler of all people.
You guys lied to us. We thought it was gonna be funny and fart jokes, and instead they're trying to fall in love. It's gross, man.
Not even fart jokes, dude. I wanted to see action scenes that were legit. It was that could have been like a spy versus spy film.
Yeah, but shit, where are we?
We were talking about Star Trek because I was like, you're tired of of never seeing the aliens return in Star Wars, that's where you were at. So, if you want that's a good gateway back to the wars from the Trek.
Yeah, there you go. So I've been having issues with Disney Star Wars, like a lot of people have. To say that Star Wars is a united fandom since 1997, you're a liar.
77.
Nah.
I
know what people like to talk about. Some stories that are out there from media in reactions to the OT when they were.
I misunderstood what you said.
No, I'm saying a split fandom.
Yeah. I didn't hear that. My bad.
97.
I agree with you now.
97 when the special edition came out and legitimately
Guido shot first and
added a Wampa, which I didn't care that the Wampa was added, but the song in Jedi High, oh god, and then even worse changes in 11. But let's not forget the fandom split in 90 or not 97, 99 with Phantom Menace, 02 with Attack of the Clones, and 05 with Revenge of the Sith. I'm sorry, people, but people hated those movies long before Mr. Pinkett, whatever the fuck's reviews at Red Letter Media. Long before his reviews, we
hated them since they came. I was young enough to enjoy episode 1 and Jar Jar Binks. And then the 2 years or 3 years between that, I was like in elementary school. Then I was in middle school watching episode 2. And I hated it. I stepped out of the theater hating that movie as like not even a teen yet, I don't think. Maybe 13 or 12. And I walked out and I was like, that was garbage. Like, fuck. There was no emotion in that movie.
No chemistry.
Special effects looked like shit. No chemistry. And Yoda's bouncing around like a silly motherfucker. And then I rewatch it. That's my least favorite Star Wars film. So even I would rather watch. To be fair, I've only seen Rise of Skywalker once, but episode 2 would be the last film you could convince me to. No, I never want to see Rise of Skywalker ever again. I would watch episode 2 only before that because it does have the best part of the prequels, Ewan McGregor as Kenobi. That's by far the best part of those movies. But I want to say something real quick. I feel like they're on different ends of the spectrum and they both go too far, that the prequels show us too much new shit. Like ships are different and everything. And then the sequels are too much classic ships. It's like no time has passed between those movies and more than 30 years. Is like, say what you will about how bad it is, and maybe you hate it for this reason, but the prequel trilogy looks completely different as far as the ships they're using.
It makes sense that it would. They were up until the creation of the secret military. The Republic was mostly peaceful and had a grand period of peace and prosperity, which breeds what? Complacency, opulence, decadence. So the prequels look the way they do, and it makes complete sense. And then you get to the Civil War, that's been raging on, and at the time. And this is another thing, fuck you, Disney, because you guys had the world's greatest bad guys. They were xenophobic, and they were sexist pigs with the Empire. And you guys were just like, nope, we got to have aliens and females all up in the Empire. And anyway, but
if you look at your extended universe, wasn't Mary Jade Empire?
She was a hand, yes. Just because he had a chiss.
No, but like
Thrawn,
I never, based on the movies alone, I never got a sexist feel from the Empire.
You said it. You said it yourself. Where were
definitely xenophobic?
Exactly. Where were all the aliens? But where was all the females on any of the bridges?
I know they weren't there, but I never watched the movies, so I thought they were sexist. Like
exactly.
They were definitely were
but
not
the leader
there.
of
and they were all British.
But the leader of the rebellion was a female, Mon Mothma. Strong female character that you didn't have to
contrast is there.
Pat me on that back. Look at me. Oh, you mean there's been strong female characters in science fiction for 50 years? Yes. Anyways,
there have been a lot of strong women in Star Wars before
Rey.
No, I was gonna say Cara Dune.
Yeah.
It's like you canceled the only strong character in Star Wars. It's like,
no,
Princess
not the only
Leia.
One.
She was a princess in the first one, but she's a fucking general. She saved them at certain points on that Death Star.
Indeed.
She was like, "Hey, come over here, you idiots."
So Disney, to me, just they shit on the EU and its convolutedness, which it does have contradictions, but yeah. But they go and do worse, and not only do they do worse, Nick, but they do it in such a way that you waste your money on those books, because not only are they bad stories, but they have no consequence. They don't lead to jack shit for the movies.
Yeah, they should
all the reveals we were supposed to get, from Aftermath to Road to Rise of Skywalker, all the politics, still don't fucking know. All the shit with Snow, still don't fucking know. Well, shit with Palpatine, still don't fucking know. We don't know shit.
They should have kept the old stuff and just added this new stuff, because who cares? It's like it is already contradicting. Like there's a book about Boba Fett, which is way different than what we see in the prequel trilogy, because it came out before the prequel trilogy. And Lucas isn't actually looking at all those books back in the day and reading them and like stamping them or anything.
Nope.
Like it is, the bigger it gets, the harder it is for it all to fit together, which is why the farthest Marvel's ever gone outside of the MCU is trying TV shows, which they basically disconnected from the MCU. And they used to do the prelude to comics, which were supposed to be comic canon. But even James Gunn is like, no, the Guardians one isn't canon. That's not the backstory I wrote for any of those characters that they just made up. So basically, Marvel has kept it so that only the live action stuff is canon. The way I wish Star Wars was done. It's like, yes, it's a multiverse. 616 is a different universe than the movies.
Yeah.
But the more comics and stuff you let happen that are supposed to be canon in Star Wars, the more people you have who haven't read all the stories making up their own shit. And then it falls apart. You can't have that many comic franchises, that many books, all being written by different people and say that it's all canon without some kind of like, you don't have to call it a multiverse, but you could say like there's Elseworlds in Star Wars novels.
Just the Legends line and then the canon line or some shit. But dude, the Darth Vader comic, they reboot it every 2 years. It runs for 25 issues. It's had three 25-issue runs.
They changed the creator every time. I know Charles sold it the first run.
They changed
He's the guy I talked about who wrote the High Republic book.
They changed
the
it
second novel.
It wasn't Charles on the first Vader. I think
was it Charles sold in the second one? Okay.
I think he was the second one. See Marvel.
Andrew and I haven't read any of the new Star Wars comics, but we like Charles Soule from other comic books.
It
like,
was
he does good Wolverine
the
stories,
Irish
my
name,
friend.
I think. Gillen. Gillen. Kieran Gillen. He wrote it, and that first 25 issue arc was great. I enjoyed it, and then they're like, oh, we're rebooting, and they did it with Star Wars. They did 73 years of comics, 70 some odd issues plus annuals and spin-offs and all that. They did that all between 4 and 5, I think, and now they've got their new comic, I think, is between 5 and 6. And the Vader ones, I think, did something similar. Like the first 2 years were 4 and 5, and I think like they followed that to a degree. But like, dude, that's 75 issues of story, and you guys are saying it's all canon, and now we're about to go and get Vader in
that'll be
the show.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
No,
they haven't met since fucking Mustafar. He says to him, "You were what?" He say like, "You were the mass." Like
when
the
I
whole
left
line
you,
about them switching positions.
When I left you, I was about to learn.
That's why they can't meet and fuck between.
A presence I have not felt since. And someone's going to say, oh, well, he meant I have not felt since the last time we met, which was after. Look, okay, hey.
Okay, I have a lot to say about this.
Go ahead.
No, also, like all these fucking video games or even The Mandalorian sometimes, it's like, oh, when I watched Star Wars back in the day, I was told there were 2 living Jedi and they died in the trilogy. And now it's like new video game, new Jedi that survived the execution, new like movie, like Ahsoka's in fucking Mandalorian. So there's another Jedi that survived the entire run of them hunting Jedi. And it's like, and even like the Clone Wars, it's like, it was one of my first complaints with Star Wars. You know, when you watch the movie originally, you're like, Clone Wars sounds tight. And you're like, oh, it's about actual clones? I should have thought of that, but that is lame.
No, the idea of the Clone Wars.
I didn't picture a bunch of, maybe it's the suits. I didn't picture a bunch of
stormtroopers
under stormtrooper armor fighting robots. Yeah. That's not what the Clone Wars wasn't. You don't even need Jedi in that battle. The clones are going to destroy the robots. But I also wanted to bring up real quick that you've actually brought up a weakness with Star Trek as well, because there's decades of comics and books and stuff, So again, in that
but they
industry,
never
I only consider the live action shit.
Doesn't Star Trek the prime timeline? They don't consider any of the books canon, I thought.
I don't even know how it works. I just know they're always released. And probably don't. They do weird crossovers.
Yeah.
Just
someone
like
out there,
like read Ninja Turtles and Batman. They do some weird crossovers.
Yeah.
That make
Someone
no sense.
out there, if you guys are a big Trek fan, let us know in the comments or on our Discord link in the description or at the bottom of the article. Let us know, are any Star Trek books or comics canon?
I know one that is
prime Star Trek.
There's a comic that talks about what Patrick Stewart, Picard and Spock did leading up to before Spock went through the black hole and started the new timeline. That feels like canon. It's like basically like this. It's like basically prelude to Star Trek, but and there's actually. I know it's not canon, but it's really fun. One of my favorite comics a few years ago was it was basically like if they could make these movies, they would be TV episodes, but they were the original series episodes redone with the new dynamics of the new actors and the new timeline. So like they dealt with like Harvey Mudd, but it was like different situation. And they did classic episodes. They just had these new versions in this new timeline. So different events would go differently.
Got it.
Kind of like the way Into Darkness is like Wrath of Khan, where things are reversed. A lot of these issues of comics were fun. So it was like, what if this happened instead? Because this decision was made instead.
Yeah. Speaking of decisions and getting back on the wars,
Star Wars track,
we need to discuss yesterday's
investor
board meeting
or whatever,
and investor meeting with Disney chair Bob not
Bob
Iger.
Two. Chapek. Isn't it Chapek these days?
Thank you. Chapek these
Bob
days.
Bob Two.
Yeah. It's funny, but Bob Iger is still, for all intents and purposes, in charge of Disney. So is Bob Chapek. They basically they created like a parallel seat for him basically, right? But they were answering questions and some shareholders had some questions dealing with recent events in Star Wars, and Kathleen Kennedy was brought up, and they basically said that she will be directing everything under Lucasfilm for years to come. That's the quote, years to come.
And before we get to that, I want to put up the context before that.
Sure.
It was basically asked by someone who had read too many rumors, yet worked at Disney, who was like, is it true that Dave Filoni is taking over? Like he read it from some hack website, and that was like the source. That's what's the funny about the story, is it was some guy asking that who's an investor, and he's like, and basically Bob Chapek he doesn't say it, but he's like kind of like, what the fuck, and then goes on to say what you said.
It's
we never said that. She's gonna be continuing.
So,
like you said, directing Star Wars operations or whatever
for years to come.
Yes.
Now, we know that her current contract that was finalized almost 3 years ago went through this year, 2021. Everyone has been waiting for some announcement. What will happen with Kathleen Kennedy? Because you can point to the overall profit that, versus the $4-5 billion they spent to what they've made. You can and say, by all means, she's a success. People can pick a different metric and look at diminishing returns, the slump in toy sales.
Episode 7 to episode 9.
From 7 to 8 to 9.
Instead of going up,
it went down.
Did. Still super successful, but that's not the way you want to see Star Wars
profitable, but not.
And then Solo was a flop.
And so Solo was a flop.
And that was because of, I think, Lucasfilm's decision to release it so close.
Probably. But which was divisive. So people can
exactly that also
exactly.
Agreed.
So people can pick their metric to say thumbs up or thumbs down, and both metrics in the examples that I've given, at least, I think are valid. Valid.
But I think that Disney cares more about the profit part than how much people like it.
Absolutely. So,
and they're getting new audiences, just like the prequel trilogy.
They are getting.
It's all about the next audience. It's not about us anymore.
But here's the thing.
Even though we have the money.
Well, not just that the new audience doesn't spend money on the toys, the shirts.
But they harass their parents at Target.
They
I want the Ray shirt.
I'm not talking the 10-year-olds. I'm talking the 20-year-olds. When you and I were
the 20-year-olds are into the prequels.
When you and I were 20, you and I were spending money we didn't have on toys we didn't need. Okay? These 20-year-olds.
Incorrect. I started doing that later in life.
Okay. Well, these 20-year-olds
Marvel products
don't spend money on the products, even if they do have it. It's just not their thing. They don't collect like we did. They don't do toys like we did, or do I should say.
I think they've shifted over to Marvel and DC as far as buying toys.
Because
I did do that in the early 20s. I bought toys from Target, but they were Marvel toys, not Star Wars toys.
Yeah, and for certain, there's some property, Walking Dead, horror's had its rise to fame, and I'm not, counting it all, but there's no denying that the fandom is split. Some love it, some are disappointed. There's a lot like me who are like, this is good, this is okay, this is fucking garbage, and I fucking hate you, you rock piloting piece of shit, Geode.
Why you ignore that extra shit?
So you have people across that spectrum.
Yeah.
And you look at a comment like that, and you have to wonder, why not just say she's going to be the president of Lucasfilm?
What is she right now? The president, right?
President.
It sounds like he's just confirming she's based on the. Well, only because based on the context where he's like, I heard Filoni's taking over.
Right.
And then it's like, no, she's still going to be directing Lucasfilm, which is what she's been doing.
Exactly. And my only issue with it is like, why aren't you saying, like, even if you're in negotiations, why not just tell us with transparency what's going on with her? Because I said almost a year ago now, I think it was after Mando's big success and maybe
a year ago,
maybe a little bit after that. But I said I think Kathleen might stay. I started saying I think she might get renewed.
I don't see why she would be removed unless she wants to move up.
Right, and that's what I thought when he didn't say outright, like you said. Context-wise, it does seem, but it seems like such a simple word to say, and one that you only leave out on purpose.
You worded it differently.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And so I'm thinking maybe she might be moving to a position like Feige got, a new creative position where they'll restructure Lucasfilm and give her more responsibility over a larger umbrella of stuff. They might even throw other Disney things there. I don't know. But I think they might restructure some because, Feige used to be just the president of Marvel Studios, and then they restructured it, and almost everything except for like toys and the actual writing and drawing of comics falls under him. Like even parts of publishing and story falls under Feige.
He seems to have very little. I guess I haven't seen it. Maybe he is very hands-on with that. He seems to be very hands-off with Marvel Publishing. So maybe that's my assumption. He's too fucking busy on other stuff.
Yeah,
he can't be in charge of both.
That's what I think is going to you. Hater, lover, liker, whatever. I've got my opinions on why I think there was a high turnover on directors, but I will never know. I was never there.
Think
so.
It's fear because she's not just her, but Disney are too protective of the Star Wars brand to let it evolve. They looked at the Miller and
Lord
80% of the movie, and they're like, that's not Star Wars. Whereas like Marvel is like, everything's Marvel.
Yeah.
Horror, comedy, space opera,
drama,
conspiracy movie.
Spies.
Yeah. A movie about grief. A TV show where you watch 9 hours of grief. Whereas I hope the Taika Waititi news means you should loosen Star Wars a lot. Star Trek was very tight. They got loosened when they made Lower Decks. It's basically Rick and Morty meets Star Trek.
Mm-hmm.
It's pure canon. They even confirmed what year it takes place in the final episode. Like, it's canon. It's just for a different audience than normal Trek.
Yeah.
Like, give me a goofy Thor Ragnarok Star Wars story. Give me I don't know, something that's on a smaller scale, maybe.
I agree, because the EU was filled with that.
Give me different genres on Disney Plus, of all places.
Yeah, right. That too. I've brought it up before. In the Rogue Squadron books, in the X-Wing novels, they deal with interspecies relationships. You know, Karan Horn had one, and Gavin Darklighter, Biggs's nephew or cousin.
How is Gavin, he not have a cousin in the movie? I mean, in the current continuity, I love Biggs. His small little role. He's Biggs.
Gavin has a relationship with a Botan female, and Stackpole.
This all reminded me of WandaVision. Humans and robots.
Stackpole has this Botan. Not a bot, not a droid. Bot.
Yeah, no. But they do a droid, and that's one of my favorite parts about Solo, is the conversation that Kira and the droid have, where she's like, "How does that work?" And the droid's like, "It works." That's because a lot of people are upset.
It's an object. People are having sex with objects right now, like in their rooms across the world.
People got upset about the quote. People got hated the quote it's not even canon quote. It's just a quote by Donald Glover, who's basically who says that, what's the term for you'll fuck anything? Pansexual? I don't know. Well, Donald Glover's basically like, I'll translate it into Jay and Silent Bob speak. Hey, wait. Get off there! Stop it! Sorry, my cat's been being a bitch. He was on the stovetop. I really apologize. Keep that in. It's like Kevin Smith yelling at his dog Shecky.
Yeah, on his podcast.
Stupid fucking cat. But no, Donald Glover basically says Lando will fuck anything that moves.
Yeah.
To treat it as.
Do you want to know?
People were like, "That's terrible," and I'm like,
"Do you want to know why?"
The Lando I know would fuck a robot. He'd fuck a hut.
Not really.
He'd fuck
Not really.
He'd fuck his daughter.
You don't know Lando though. See, you only know Lando Calrissian
Lando's the
from
smoothest
the movies.
motherfucker in the entire galaxy.
No, you only know what you see in Empire
and Jedi.
What you see in Jedi, which in Jedi he isn't showing off any smooth moves to anyone. So
it just makes sense to me. It would continue on his legacy. That he'd be like, "Hey, man,
believe it or not, he actually is eventually married with kids. Yes, he is a bit of a playboy when he's not married. Harry.
Oh, I believe he would do that too. Yeah,
he
got to settle down eventually.
He has a mission with someone, Twi'lek, and I think she was a Jedi, and the mission's a success.
Oh no, they married?
No.
Oh.
The mission's a success, and the Twi'lek's like, so you want to head in the back and celebrate? And he's like, I think he says something about drink, like he's got drinks up here, right? to have a celebration.
I got a wife and
she's
kid
like,
at home,
that's
man.
not what I'm talking about. And he's like, oh no, I'm good. I'm married. I got kid. And she's like,
in Lando talk, I've owned enough capes in my life.
So, personally, either way doesn't bother me, because I know that he had done the Playboy bit, but he had also been a very, very quick relative, quick to marry and settle down type dude.
And I apologize for getting us off topic, because I do have thoughts about Kathleen Kennedy.
Oh yeah, so there we go. Kennedy either staying as president or getting a new position, a new title, and still having oversight of Star Wars. I think there might be a PR move here, Nick, because she is divisive, regardless of whether it's divisive in we love her or divisive in we hate her. There's a way I think you move her up and you word it in such a way, and especially when you promote the new president of Lucasfilm, if they did things like I would, you get the people that don't like her. They go, oh, she's further away now from production. She's got more on her plate. She won't be as hands-on, regardless of whether or not she will. I think she'll continue to be just as she is now. She's got some projects. She's all like, yeah, my.
She's no Feige.
And she's got
Star
other,
Wars.
Right. And she's got other projects. She's like, you guys got it. Do what you
And
you
she's
do.
kind of smart in that way, where she's like, Filoni and Favreau got this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I got the right team. I don't need to stop off as much there. I've overdone the movies maybe too often.
So what do you think is going on? Do you think she keeps this title?
I think
gets a new one. Do they try to appease people?
I think she is kept in this position until there's an opportunity to move her up. And I think you heard it here first, folks. I think her final destination is president of Disney Entertainment. I think she'll be in charge of all of it. I think she'll have Chapek's job after him. I think she's had the perfect career path. She was Steven Spielberg's assistant on Raiders of the Lost Ark. From there, she became producer of almost all his movies, including, what's more popular than Jurassic Park?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I said it wrong. Yeah, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Jurassic Park. She married his producer. God, what's his name? She married the producer of Raiders of the Lost Ark, Frank Marshall. And they're still a thing. And then they gave her Star Wars. I think she's on the path to be molded. And she also has the background to be pushed up into head of everything Disney, which is a very hands-off position. But you're still overseeing a lot of stuff. Because that's a great PR move for a company like Disney, is like, look, we got a woman in charge of everything. And she has this great history. She made money at Star Wars, even if it wasn't their favorite. She produced movies like Jurassic Park and Minority Report and Lincoln. It's like, she could be Hollywood royalty because she started as Steven Spielberg's assistant.
If Disney comes out,
how much you want to bet they'll bring Spielberg into Disney more often if she's the head of Disney?
That's fine. I personally, look, I don't think that she is necessarily a good storyteller. I wonder, there's no doubt she knows how to make movies. No doubt about that.
Well, she's never made a movie, but
how to get movies made.
How to oversee.
Do you want to say it that way?
Yeah.
How to get movies made.
Yeah.
She can do that. I think she did have too much say in stories for Star Wars. Maybe not specifics, but maybe things that she either greenlit or turned down. And I think maybe she didn't have enough assistance for
like I
input.
said, I think she's just overprotective of the movies too much, leading to the firing of multiple directors.
Maybe. Regardless, if she's more hands off,
the higher you move up, the less hands on you are,
right?
Because you got people.
Your next president, then Nick, do you try to find a Feige, or do you compartmentalize Star Wars more and instead do what Marvel used to have, where it's like, okay, hey, we've got our movies, our Disney Plus, our publishing, and there's somebody that oversees those different ones, and they all answer to Kathleen. What do you think is the best move going forward for Star Wars if she's not president at the end of the year? She's hired. About
TV series and movies, animation and live action, because I really don't care about the comics and the books.
Okay.
I already feel they're broken. I think you shoot for another Feige. I don't know who the fuck in the world you can find that's as intelligent as Feige. Like, you could try a Filoni or a Favreau. Well, no, Favreau's proved he can't run a universe.
They want to make stuff. They don't want to run it. They want to make Star Wars. They don't want to run it.
There's anyone no, because I would have said maybe they seek out JJ, that sort of thing. But JJ has already been bought by Warner Brothers at this point. Basically, he's part of DC in a big way.
Yeah,
he's producing multiple HBO Max series and their next Superman movie.
They can have them.
But no, I completely agree. But I see them compartmentalizing it just because I don't think you can find another Feige. Feige is like a once in a lifetime. When this is all said and done, we're reading history books about the history of cinema. Feige's gonna be up there with like the
Lucas, Spielberg.
No, going back farther,
Kubrick,
Citizen Kane director.
Yeah,
Orson Welles. Yeah, but not as a director, but as someone who kept a journey going for a decade plus that was all interconnected with basically no retconning needed in most cases.
There was some.
There's a lot of actor retconning. Like, how they know when making Iron Man, they would have to cast the guy from Mad Men later to actually play Stark. There's other retconning too, but it's so cohesive. And I said this on our podcast on Monday, Marvel Multiverse Mondays, that I think, they all call Avatar a game changer, and I say bullshit.
Technology-wise, sure.
Not even technology-wise.
No, it did. It pushed.
They looked fine. They need to update it for Avatar 2 because they don't look as good as Thanos, which is years later, but they don't look that good.
No, they don't. But I
still think they're in the uncanny valley even before I saw Thanos. But that's me. I never liked Avatar that much. That's my problem.
Stupid movie.
But
so angry today. Sorry, guys.
Now you are really angry. I was like, you were gonna the freak out.
Fucking rock. Shit. Fucking rock flies a goddamn.
What was I saying?
Ship.
I forgot what I was
Vessel.
saying. So it's not important.
Fuck you.
Fuck rocks. Let's just say that because I lost my train of thought. It was about Feige in some way.
Yeah, you're right. He's super smart.
I remembered my point. Sorry to cut you off. Like I said on our podcast, Avatar wasn't a game changer to me. Avengers was.
Mm-hmm.
Look at this. I was like crying with joy when Banner met Stark, and then suddenly they're on a helicarrier, and I'm like ripping my hair out with excitement. Like, I'm like, oh, they've done it. I feel like having a fully integrated Disney Plus series with the Marvel franchise is the next game changer.
Yeah.
Like having Falcon and the Winter. Have you seen the most recent Falcon and the Winter Soldier trailer where they joke about Doctor Strange?
I'm the one that sent that to
I know, but I saw it 2 days ago when it was leaked, but I didn't post about it because it was like someone leaked it on had a television recording of it. That's the best joke where it's like there's the big three.
Androids, aliens, and wizards. And Falcon's right. Tony even calls him a wizard. It's
just a sorcerer without a hat.
He's a space alien here to get a necklace from a wizard.
Yeah,
kid, that's the wizard. Oh man.
I also track a little bit, but I don't think there is a Feige you can hire at Star Wars.
I
think that man exists once in a generation.
He's a fan who also has the ability to tell stories and the ability to do the business side of things. And like you said, lead people. I honestly think leadership is the thing that Kennedy lacks. I think she might be a great boss-ish. I don't think she might be the best leader, which is why I say
I can see that.
She needs more advisors, I think, might be. And if you move her up and you take some of the stuff she's not necessarily amazing at, and you put a buffer between her and that, with some advisors being that buffer, I think things can get better under her. But then again, she's letting fucking rocks pilot ships in Star Wars. So fuck Kathleen Kennedy, I quit.
And I mean, and in the end, we're headed back to the same problem every time with Star Wars, which I'm starting to see with Marvel after everyone taking a year off, is every time there's a new Star Wars the movie, like you said, or project, it splits fans more. I think WandaVision started that a little bit with Marvel, but yeah, you can't win the Star Wars. It's part of the curse of Star Wars. This is why JJ turned it down dozens of times the first time before taking it. It's like, it's my favorite thing in the world, but I don't want to be responsible for pissing off fans.
Yeah.
Like, Star Wars is, because of its age, is probably the hardest franchise to do. Keep all your fans.
It's because of what it is, what it was. Yep. And you've got too many people today with the good idea fairy. It's a thing from the army. That's what we call like officers and warrant officers that come to your project site and are like, I wonder if we added a set of stairs to the side of this. You're like, oh my God, sir, go the fuck away, you piece of shit. I don't have the materials. I've already ordered my stuff. No, sir, take your ass in the good idea fairy over that way.
Love it.
The good idea fairy in Hollywood's a real thing, and like I said, Kathleen Kennedy's, I think she's got a bad case of that, and she might need that voice, no, bad Kathleen.
I don't think she is overseeing it so much as they're like, you can, like, she's even asked, like, you care for Rock, as a character? I don't think anyone asks her that. I don't think she's looking over that much.
I don't know. But
yeah, she does definitely have done better with the movies just based on who you talk to.
Yeah.
And they aren't my favorite movies necessarily either. So,
well, that's a fucking wild card Wednesday. It's like
basically Star Wars and
Star Trek. It's a great episode of the Cantina in the middle of the week before Cam and I get to dig into some more High Republic stuff.
That's why I added Trek in to make a difference in the Cantina.
Nick,
Cam ain't gonna bring up Trek instead of Star Wars.
There you go. Nick, I liked The Mandalorian. I was happy to see Boba Fett be cool for the first time on screen in live action, at least. Be cool for real.
I will say I call him Bubba Fat now.
He's old, dude.
I know it's not his fault, but yeah, he's fat. They should have made the armor look bigger. Because he looks like he's wearing skinny armor.
No, I like that he rocks it that size.
Timothy Oliphant was even sillier though when it's like cosplay Boba Fett, where he's like wearing like a red turtleneck under it.
But I miss loving Star Wars. It is so burdensome because of the things that oh God.
You okay, man?
Yeah, where was I?
Talking about Star Wars.
Okay. So I had a point and I was making it and I got real bad pain. So I'm sorry, but we're gonna wrap the episode up anyways. The point being is that I miss Star Wars. miss loving it.
That's what you were saying too. Yep.
Cool. I miss getting excited about a new book of Star Wars. And while I was excited to see The Mandalorian and stuff, I definitely don't even watch the OT 5 times a year like I used to, because
Agreed.
I'm burned out by the bad stuff they did with the characters that I did like, whether it was a shitty comic, a shitty movie, a shitty cartoon, with shitty animation. And people can love it. That's fine. But I'm burned out on Star Wars, and it makes me sad.
I'm offering you 2 alternatives. One I've already
offered. Do Trek. Fuck it. No,
then invest it in the MCU. I replaced Star Wars with the MCU, and then Trek just happened to replace Star Wars because most of my Star Wars energy was put into Marvel. So Trek isn't bad, guy.
I have a lot of fear for Rogue Squadron. I really, really do. After learning how much of Wonder Woman 1 wasn't Patty Jenkins, and then learning from her mouth, not what I'm saying, like how much Snyder and Warner influenced Wonder Woman 1, she said was a lot. She said she had complete freedom for 84, and then sat on that movie for a year, and that's what they delivered. Like, you had all that time for post, for sound. The sound editing at the end of the movie is atrocious. You can't hear shit. The sound mixing is awful. And, like, she has all this control over story, and she writes a story with a flying cheetah and a fucking 7 billion people giving up their wish.
My wish.
No. I'm sorry. I'm scared. Knowing that she had that much freedom and that's what she delivered, I'm scared for Rogue Squadron. So
it was bad, but it could have been better.
Thank you, Nick. Guys, make sure you check out the website, LRMonline.com, every day. For all your entertainment news, needs, and opinions, check out the YouTube channel. Lots of great things on there. All of our podcasts. As you can see, we're starting to do videos for things now, as well as all the wonderful celebrity interviews. And, of course, the podcast network, wherever you get your podcasts from. Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple, Google, everything. I really hurt, so I'm getting out of here, guys. I'm at that Kyle Malone on Twitter. He's at Geeky Nick Doll. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Have a good day.